Welcome everyone. Today we have another brilliant mind. She is Dr. Rajiana Kashem. She is a brilliant. She have a lot of contribution in Malaysian education systems, and most importantly, she is from the big university UITM. I think they have more than 100,000 students. So
Sure.
today we will know about sports, we will know about the sports tourism, and we know how scientifically we can move. He's a very nice lady, and she actually caring of her students. She's very popular. So welcome, Dr. Rajiana. Can you share about you and your about sports and sports
Uh,
departments in UITM? Yes.
all right. Welcome everybody to these sections. I'm very proud to have Sharif with me and the rest of you. Hi, world outside there. How are everybody's? Hope you are in good shape, especially during the COVID. Slow movements, everything's getting slow. But I believe there's something that we can learn from this. I'm Riziana binti Muhammad Kasim. I've been teaching in the UC University's public university. We call it University Technology Mara, all right, for more than 20 years. Then I've got another 5 more years to go. So it's very interesting topics looking into sports tourism, sports and tourism, the impact, what should we have, what's the next strategy to do. All right, mainly I've got beside that also I'm servicing to the what you call private universities here as a what you call PhDs supervisions, right, and also giving back to the nation now actually. All right,
Yeah,
welcome everybody.
brilliant.
Hmm.
Brilliant, ma'am. Ma'am, basically, you are from sports departments,
Yes.
and this is very interesting for Asia Pacific markets. Even
Hmm.
actually from around the world. Actually, we have community and intellectual people from around the world. We want to know about sports and sports tourism.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. As you know, sports and sport tourism is actually a big industry. It generate an income. Sport tourism is actually, tourism is actually an industry itself. Sport is actually giving an activities to both the tourism industry. For example, I'm sure that everybody knows about cricket. And the world are
Yes,
talking about cricket, right?
yes.
It's supposed to be held in Australia, right? And it has to be postponed due to the COVID. So,
Mhm.
uh, if you look into the impact of cricket itself, all right, it has been a nation. Okay, Bangladesh, in India, they are very what do you call like a nation patience of it. So, the impact of that. Okay, meaning it. Okay, when people come to travels, okay, they don't not only come with the player itself, they come with the whole team, and they watch, right, and then they stay to that country itself. And normally when you have these sports events, it takes you more than 4 or 5 days. And
Mhm.
imagine when they stay more and more. For
Mhm.
example, in Malaysia, majority of the tourists staying here about 7.4 days. So they come
Mhm.
to Malaysia for 7.4 days. uh, where do they spend their money? They
Mhm.
spend on ticketing, they spend on
Mhm.
food, beverage, hotel, sightseeing, retailing. So you can see they create in what you call a big industry, and it create a
Mhm.
good economic impact to the country. That's why people are now bidding for world events like Olympic Tokyo. Right,
Mhm.
so it's
Yes.
supposed to be held and then it has to be postponed to 2020. Why? Because it brings money, it brings income to the country
Mhm.
itself. So it's a
Mhm.
very huge, and a lot of research has been done on economic impacts of sports tourism, economic and psychological impact, looking into fans. For example, my PhD itself, I'm looking into fanism of what you call Formula One. Okay,
Mhm.
Formula One research at that time was back to 2012 or 2011, where I found that these fans, they are actually attached to any events because of emotional appeal. So they don't
Mhm.
have to be satisfied to be loyal. When they are emotionally attached to the team, all right,
Mhm.
they are actually satisfied, and they will follow wherever the team goes. So you can
Mhm.
see the impact of the nations, the impact of the social is very great actually. right?
Very interesting. Very interesting, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already from Indian people. They're observing your show. Ankit Khandawal, he's my friend. He said
Hi.
interesting conversations. So yes. So, ma'am, basically, okay, sports and sports tourism, and at
Yep.
present we are in
Mm-hmm.
challenging situation. Every country is going shutdowns. It's not moving forwards. Uh, what your observation for sports arena? Let's say in India, in
Mm-hmm.
Bangladesh, Sri Lanka,
Mm-hmm.
Pakistan, they are very fan of cricket, but they cannot
Mm-hmm.
playing cricket right now. So,
Mm-hmm.
what will be the future? You are talking about Olympic. So, what will
Yes.
happen?
Okay, let's look what's the impact now first. Okay, right. The impact, if you cannot play, the player
Mhm,
cannot play. What will happen to their salaries?
mhm,
What will
mhm,
happen to their training itself? All right.
mhm,
Of course,
mhm,
they are bare from sponsorship, right? Sponsor
mhm,
that cover them. When they don't have sponsorships, when they cannot play anymore, mainly maybe their salaries will be deducted, or they have no job at all.
mhm,
Okay,
mhm,
that will create that negative impact and
mhm,
sponsorship impact, for examples. And then
mhm,
you have to limit yourself,
mhm,
movements, the control of people. You have to be far from the players, etc. And cricket is actually a little bit of touching games,
mhm,
where most of the touching games are not really being what you call exposed or being played yet. They still have this control movement not to be played on the touchings like rugby's, etc. So this is what we can see the impact. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, some of the club has already what you cut down the salaries, and some even they are given what you call a holiday without salaries. So
mhm,
that is the great impact of what happened now, and which at this moment people are only concentrating on trainings,
mhm,
in-house training, for example. So, okay, like Malaysia today, okay, most of the athletes now they can go and go to the camp and train themselves, which is already a good movement now. So
mhm,
we would like to see that, okay, and as a fan, okay, it create you a satisfaction, okay, for
mhm,
yourself. If you cannot see the cricket, what happened to you?
mhm. Yes, definitely.
Okay,
We are very
and I
engaged
believe
with
at one
cricket.
time,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
at one time I remember I went to India, Mumbai, Bombay,
Mhm,
right? Also,
mhm,
and that day they were playing cricket between India and Bangladesh.
mhm,
Imagine
mhm.
everybody's go for holidays.
True,
Okay,
true.
they are watching it live. And it
Mhm,
becomes a sentiment. I could see a slow movements of economy at that time. People were what we call excited to watch and looking who's going to win, etc.
mhm,
So as a a fan itself, it also create demotivation, because
mhm,
different. If you are a fan, all right, if you cannot watch or you cannot see your player, you become disappointed actually. So this is
mhm,
looking into psychology impact of the player itself, psychology impact of these fans, the club. Okay, all this actually make it a little bit a negative impact to the
mhm,
overall clubs, right?
mhm.
So
Yes,
in
ma'am.
terms of tourism, when street movements, you cannot
Mhm,
travel because it's very fragile, right? So
mhm,
what happened to the airline?
mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
most of them, the airlines, and then what happened to the food industry? What happened
Mhm,
to the hotel? In fact, in Malaysia, few of the hotels will be sell off because they cannot maintain in long term,
mhm,
because it looks like for tourism and sports tourism industry to recover, it takes at least 2 years to come back,
mhm,
unless we have the vaccines or anything, then it becomes safer. In fact,
mhm,
most of the international border are now still closed to the
mhm,
international. So this is what we can see the really impact, and a lot of research has been done lately on this impact, which are
mhm.
looking into either qualitative or quantitative research.
Very interesting,
Uh-huh.
ma'am. Basically, we
Mm-mm-mm.
have many audience from USA, from Europe. They want to know Malaysian culture. What's exactly Malaysian people love to play? Like,
Hmm.
what's the situation of sports in Malaysia?
Okay, Malaysia is more on football fans.
Yeah,
Okay, we are football fans, and then most of them we have league football leagues, and then we have our a research on football that we have done. Mainly, our fan will actually not so loyal to their country or country homes fans. You know, they are more loyal to whoever entered the final. Okay, so
okay.
football has become a very nation for us. And then in fact during the COVID, what they have done is they turned the football match into e-games.
Okay, okay,
So when I talk
okay.
about e-games during the COVID this time, e-games are actually what you call booming.
Yes.
Everybody are
Okay.
actually putting into everything's in game, playing in game, because you are in the house, you cannot with it. So the industry is actually growing for e-games. And
Mhm.
some of them, they put their own favorite characters into the e-games characters, the footballs of e-games.
Interesting,
Right?
interesting,
Yeah.
interesting.
Uh-huh.
So what actually Malaysian people, like young people, like want to engage with, how they want to engage with, because Malaysia is a beautiful country,
Oh
everywhere
yeah, yeah.
beautiful country. So
Okay, right. That's right. Okay, let's look into the tourism itself. Okay,
yeah.
recently, when the government's what do you call, the restrictions to go to other district has been eased. So what happened is, okay, after that we could see, we have this one beach called Langkawi. You know, have you
Mhm.
been to Langkawi?
Yes, yes,
Right.
ma'am.
So, yeah, it's a very nice beach,
Yeah.
and because of the COVID, the Mother Earth is actually recovering. You know, recovering, and the beautiful of air now, the beautiful of the sea. You can see the fish now. You can see the seashell, everything there. And actually, yesterday itself, when the government has actually announced you can go for domestic tourism, you know what
Mhm.
happened?
Mhm.
Langkawi is fully booked until December. The
Oh,
hotel are
interesting.
fully booked, and until December, just imagine 1,000 fully booked. It's just not even an hour. So you could imagine how people, when they stay in their house for 3 months, they want to go out. They need to go out, but the first thing they have to go for the green environments,
Mhm.
meaning that is a green zone that people can travel. And I
Mhm.
believe because of this, the governments now are looking into domestic tourism. Okay,
Mhm.
and the government's giving 1,000 tax deducts for a year if you go for domestic tourism. So this is
Oh,
how to create the income generation to the domestic people back. So
oh.
okay, and I believe more on people like to travel by car, uh, because you have to limit to 10 people.
Mhm. Mhm.
Recently, I read this India. Okay, they are
Mhm.
now promoting caravan.
Mhm.
Okay, because of the COVID, and then they have a big worker area, so they are promoting on caravans. Okay, to go for caravans, in term of to boost back the tourism
Mhm.
industry. Hmm.
Mhm.
And in fact, okay, I have read one articles. Okay, when you want to go for a domestic tourism,
Mhm.
one thing that you should look into is a food tourism. Okay,
Oh, yes,
so
yes.
people travel because of food. For
True.
example, in Malaysia, I'm not so sure whether you know a durian. Okay, now is the
Yes,
season of durian. This durian is a, we call it
durian.
king. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
durian is
yes,
a,
yes. It's a very
yes, it's a
famous.
king food, right? Yeah,
Yes,
it's a
yes,
king food.
yes, yes.
People go and hunt for the durian for domestic tourism. So people go
Mhm.
to one place and stay there for 2, 3 days, and just to eat the durian itself.
Yes,
Just
yes.
imagine that. So the food, I believe that for future, for the next one, people will promote domestic tourism, all right, and
Mhm.
then people will promote also on a food together, all right?
Mhm. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Mm.
Okay, ma'am, a very interesting point of view is that because
Mm.
before I come, I come here for PhD purpose. Before I come here, so I have to go visit different countries. So
Yes.
here I find Malaysian people is very disciplined, very obedient with their governments. I think this is one of the good things in Malaysia, and they are very peaceful. So,
Yes.
what's the beauty inside of Malaysia? Can you share with us? Because everybody
Okay.
asking me questions about Malaysia,
Okay. We
Malaysian
are
beauty.
actually we are multicultural. Okay, multicultural. We have Indian, Chinese, Malays, and a few others, Bumiputras and non-Bumi, where we respect each other. Though we have different religions, because we are trained to respect each other based on what they call from education, from the parent itself, and we during the COVID itself, we could see that most of our discipline. We stay in the house. We follow whatever the government says, what they call Ministry of Health has given us, all these things, because we want to make sure that the COVID itself, the COVID disease is not transferred widely. And if you see the statistic today, we have only Malaysian has only about 8,000 to 329 patient of COVID. All right, only 100, if I'm not mistaken, 177 death only. So this is
Yes.
how we are very disciplined, and it's a new norm. It's a new norm. Okay, you norms. Most of us are looking care of our own hygienes, and then a distance of communications. Okay, to move a little bit. Okay, it's actually that we have before moving so fast in our life. Right? We are our so fast, and sometimes we feel that the whole day the time is very fast. But during the COVID itself, this is the time where we have work life balance actually. Work life balance with the families, you in the house. So this is what you call a new norms that we have to look into. Malaysian is a very peaceful. I also would like to welcome you all to come to Malaysia when the time is good for you, and in fact, our currency is also good, and we have a lot of place. And
Yes.
for you to come here,
Beautiful.
for you to come here, 7 days is not enough. So that's why we
True.
have the campaign Asian to Real Asians. When you come to Malaysia, you feel that you are in Asians. Not only
Brilliant.
the food, but we
Yes.
have a very good services, a friendly,
Yes.
warming services to come people over to Malaysia actually.
Yes, yes,
Right.
yes. Ma'am, as you are work with the sports tourism, so do
Yes.
you have any like future any of the special program, special sports tourism activities or anything? Basically, we want to know, and
Uh,
so many people actually have this kind of questions like
mm,
about more Malaysian culture. Yes.
uh, okay. Uh, well, we promote a lot of golf tourism.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
golf tourism. Okay, recently when the government say, okay, only one game that we can play is a golf. So we open first is a golf, because
Okay.
a golf tourism in Malaysia, because we have a beautiful facilities. Our main market is mainly from Japan. Okay, they would like to come for here for golfing, and we have beautiful sceneries. We've got lots of golf course, okay, and good people handling the course golf itself. That is very beautiful of golf. Besides that, we also have MotoGP for the young people. They like to go for MotoGP. We have that. We have a nice circuits there, Sepang circuit, for people to travel and come. In fact, those days Formula One was quite famous, but now we are not conducting any more for Formula One. And then we have dragon boats. We have traditional games, and lots of things, lots of sport tourism. Why? Because we want to generate more income to the country itself. At those days, we depend most of our GDP not only depends on import export, but also for tourist industry. So our main tourists came from Singapore, Thailand. Okay, in fact, Malaysian is this among the what you call Asian country, we still hold the largest international tourist arrival in the Asian country. We still the highest one, and that's why we are promoting. And now also we are promoting to the Western to come. Alright, so this is what we call contribute to. Actually, it contribute to 13.3 GDP of our countries.
Oh,
Alright,
okay, okay, okay.
GDP. So you know why? Because we have beach, we have hills, we have everything you name it lah, because we are tropical
Mhm.
country. We have only
Mhm.
rain and
Mhm.
sun.
Yeah, yes.
Rain and
Yes.
sun, okay,
Yes, yes.
but not haze anymore. Hopefully, no more haze.
Yes. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, ma'am, as you are discussing about the tourism industry, especially sports tourism, and this is
Mm-hmm.
amazing idea, the golf tourism. This is really
Mm-hmm.
really good idea. So we want to know like about Malaysian infrastructure, like about
Mm-hmm.
five-star, three-star hotels, communication systems, and beautifications, safety of Malaysia. These things
Ah,
our audience want to know. And by
ah,
this time, Ankit from India, he said hello. On the other hand,
hi.
Humaira Tanzila said Assalamu alaikum. Happy to see you,
Waalaikumsalam.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, happy to see you too. All right. When Malaysia decided to become a second income of GN for tourism industry, we ensure that okay, our transportations is very good. Okay,
Mhm,
it's either land, sea, or air is very good, and we have a very huge airport. We call it KLIA airports, and few three
mhm,
airports actually we have, and that is a hub. When people
mhm,
come, people look at our airport. That is the first image that people would like to see. In
mhm,
fact, when you say about ferries, ships, we also have this very nice one for them to travel. The road is very what you call 3 lanes, 4 lanes road, and then good hotels, good
mhm,
facilities, and we have also this homestay called homestay, where if you want to feel that you are in the countryside, you can travel to the homestays, right?
mhm,
So recently, when I see that people go for staycation. All right,
mhm,
staycation is where a limited of people travel to one place, but they stay there more than 4 or 5 days. But they explore all the locals, what you call culture, sceneries, all these things. And then now, what we people do is every time they go for vacation or staycation, they will upload into their YouTubes or they upload into their Facebook. That is become the trend now. So we
mhm,
call it stay station or solo stations. If you want
mhm,
to go to mount climbings, all right, not like Everest, but we have Kota Kinabalu Mount, which is also good for solo locations because you with a small group you travel. So
mhm,
this is more on the youngsters, like
mhm,
backpacking, right?
mhm,
So
mhm.
to me, okay, our target market now is the young people,
Yes, yes.
average about 25 to 40 because they are still strong. Okay, they have energy, so this is what we target for. They are not, we call it it's not easy for them to get the disease, so that is most important target for us nowadays, right?
Mhm, mhm.
um,
Yes,
and we
yes.
also have a good facilities for disabled people to travel actually.
Very good, very good. This is very good.
Disabled.
Ma'am, we want to know actually, like when I come to Malaysia, I think I gained 10 kilo of weight. I want to know Malaysian food. It's a very, very tasty. We love everybody love Malaysian food. We want to
You
know
name it. What you don't have here? You have Korean food here. You have
yeah,
English food. You have steak here.
yes.
You have Japanese food here. You have
We
Asian food.
yes,
You name it.
we want to know pure Malaysian food. Okay.
Oh,
Nasi lemak and different kind of Malaysian food. Hello, ma'am. I think he's trying to connect it. I think he has few issues with the internet connections. So anyway, ma'am, we are waiting actually for ma'am. So basically, Malaysia has very interesting thing. So we're gonna discuss on that. Actually, I think so Madam, our Dr. Raziana ma'am has few like internet related issues. This was many interesting discussions. Actually, Malaysia has. Malaysia has to like they have different interesting things. They have a lot of tourism sport. They have specifically the very good housing facilities, very good roads and highways, very good transportations, and it's very interesting actually. So I request Dr. Raziana, please join again. And basically, like in Malaysia, if you, our dear audience, if you join, if you come, and if you engage, it's a beautiful country. There are a lot of interesting thing happening there. There are a lot of many interesting thing happening there, and if you focus on the sports things, like Madam Rajiana Kashem, she is discussing about the golf tourism. There are a lot of golf and interesting golf plays, and then many kind of things is happening there. Okay. So, we will know. So by this time, dear audience, if you have any kind of questions, you can ask us. I think our Dr. Rajiana, she joined, and by this times, if you have any question, you can ask us. And when we get your questions, we can ask Dr. Rajiana again. So, dear audience, basically for the sports tourism, even if you want to do study in UITMs, okay, and if you want to know about more sports related things in Malaysia, please join with us and you ask us, like, what's your questions? So then we can again, Dr. Rajiana, she may join with us, and when she join with us, basically, you can your question we can ask and we can describe. So specifically, like example, Malaysian beautiful Malaysian activities is important, and this economical aspect, as we have a strong engagement with different countries, and Malaysia is actually very good places for. It's not so far from China. It's not so far from India. And specifically here, transportation is good. Here, accommodations and every facilities is very good. They have beautiful food. They have beautiful cultures and many interesting things they have. So in that particular issues, so if you want to ask us any questions, we love to like share the informations, and we love to share all of the interesting things about Malaysia. So in that particular time, I just want to share some point of views of World Talent Economy Forum. Basically, a long time, last 12 years, we actually working together. We develop different academy, different country. We develop different conference. We develop different online activities as well as offline activities. So in that particular times, we find in the COVID-19 period, there are actually many peoples around the world, and there are many scholars around the world. We can integrate it together. When we actually integrated and collaborate together, that time we find that World Talent Economic Forum can contribute more. Let's say from USA, they have brilliant idea. Maybe from Japan, they have brilliant idea. Maybe from Europe, they have different idea. So maybe from South Asia or China, they have different idea. Even from Africa, you find that all of the talent people, all of the scholars, and many of the interesting people, they joining together, they contribute together, and in that particular sessions, actually we find that we have to understand the community. We have to understand the your perception. Especially we target the young people. So when young people actually join with World Talent Economy Forum, we can understand your need, and we can understand the different demand and everything from your side. So in that situations, when we find that there are many interesting issues and problems, and we will identify different kinds of issues, challenge, and everything, and we try to give you the solution. By this time, our honorable Dr. Raziana, she already joined. So no
Yeah, I'm so
problem.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
No
I do not
problem.
know what happens. I've got to change the studio actually. I got to go
Understand.
out now.
Understand, ma'am.
Yeah.
No problem. Please continue about your tourism industry. We are discussing on
On the
food
food,
and
right?
yes.
On the food itself, right? Okay, that's why I say food has become uh, the main purpose that people wants to travel to Malaysia actually, and most of these private company or private providers, they are actually looking to what you call providing an authentic foods from Malaysia. Okay, like
Mhm.
example, we have curry, same like China, in India, but the different type of curries. We have this Negeri Sembilan's food. We have also a lots of food. When you come here, it's actually food heaven. Actually,
Yes, yes.
yeah, right, true.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. One interesting thing, you are from academic arena. We want to know actually, like
Yep.
about UITM, about your departments, or how the different students from different countries they can study and they can get valuable knowledge from sports and tourism departments. Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. Okay, let me promote my university. Okay,
Okay.
University Technology Mara is actually providing a postgraduate student from international.
Mhm.
Example, if you are doing your masters, okay, and of course a PhDs. Okay, my department, we have two departments. We call it Sports Science department and Sport Management. Myself is more on sports management, major in sports tourism. So from sports, what you call department, okay, we have like people who are specialized in anatomy, physiology, test evaluations, and now we have a lot of sports scientists now in our faculties are looking more on sports scientists. Sport
Mhm.
management, we have recreation, sports management, sports psychologists, and we have also sports economics, sports finance. It's a very what you call our faculty has been existing since 1996. So
Mhm.
we have produced a lot of what you call postgraduates, not only for
Mhm.
sports science, but we have a lot of sport management. Other like business schools. We have also medical schools. It's quite accountings, engineerings, lots of that, right?
Mhm.
So
Yes.
for the undergrad is actually we don't really have we only concentrate on Bumi Putras for
Mhm. Yes,
undergrads.
understood. And how many students in UITM has? How many students you have?
More than 100 over thousand, the whole
Hundred
Malaysia.
over thousand, more than, and all Malaysian and
Yeah,
Bhumiputra. More than
all Malaysia. Yeah,
hundred
among the
thousand
biggest
students.
universities, among the public universities, the biggest public universities
Yes, this is
in
the
Malaysia.
biggest public university in Malaysia. They have more than
Yeah.
100,000 students. So, ma'am, basically
Yes,
from
correct.
the sports department, you are talking about sports science. How real
Yep.
life, let's say from India, they are playing cricket. So, how your
Mm-hmm.
department can
Yeah.
collaborate and contribute for India, Bangladesh, or Pakistan cricket?
Oh, okay. In terms of if they want to do a collaboration in terms of research,
Yes,
okay,
yes,
in
yes.
terms of research, okay, you are looking into what type of research. For example, you want to look into body movement of crickets, for examples,
Mhm.
or you are looking into psychologist fans of crickets. It
Mhm.
depends. All right, we can collaborate into a lots of business. Example, I have one of my students, okay, who are doing a PhD on looking into your DNA and which good position you are in the football field. Okay,
Mhm.
taking your DNA and test. Okay, are you good captains? For
Mhm.
example, so this is type
Mhm.
of more on we are looking into more medical sciences, sports science. So in terms of you
Mhm.
want to do collaboration, yes, we have lots of expertise, and you can look into our website,
Mhm.
FSRUITM, and lots of names of our what they call renowned lecturers, professor there,
Mhm. Mhm.
right?
Ma'am,
So
actually, how actually research help this kind of industry? Because example, according to my knowledge, like example, there is a huge gap between industry and the research arena. How we can be more productive and we can make more collaborations in between industry, sports industry, and let's say your department faculty.
Oh, okay. In that thing, it is more on innovations. Okay, for example, if we want to collaborate people with innovation, let's look at training equipment, for example. Okay, we can come and we collaborate in terms of training equipments, and then we can actually ask the industry to commercialize. Okay, and recently my faculties, okay, with the fire brigades departments in UITM and the fire brigade nation, we are coming up with looking into flood detector.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you can see sometimes when it goes into what you call flood, raining flood. So we are looking into flood detect, how to see the water level, and then when the water level is increasing, and then the flood detector will detect, and the fire brigade will come and rescues. That is what we collaborate with actually the industry. So a lot. If you're looking into crickets, okay, you can also see about the ball itself, okay,
Mm-hmm.
or the techniques using, okay, the technique using, looking into the device, looking into your body movements. Okay, we have all this. You can collaborate with it
Mm-hmm.
into our sport science.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Let's say in South Asia, from South Asia, we saw that
Mm-hmm.
our cricketer, even our footballers, and they actually sell their cricket bat, their balls, even their bracelet, and even Pakistani people,
T-shirts,
cricketer t-shirts. They are buying and they're getting
the
collecting.
materials.
Yes, they collecting huge money and they contribute for the COVID-19 situations. In Malaysia, actually,
Mm-hmm.
sportsmen, those who are very popular,
Mm-hmm.
how they work actually, like these things happen in
Mm-hmm.
Malaysia. Yes.
How to
Yes, like
come
I
again?
want to.
Your
Yes,
question, please.
my question is that in Malaysia, let's say in South Asia, many cricketers, many footballer, in COVID-19 situation, they
Mm-hmm.
sell their sports instrument and they collecting money
Mm-hmm.
and they like give this money to the poor people. Okay, those who are disabled,
Mm-hmm.
orphan, those who have in trouble. Even you are talking about this unemployment, like those the coach, cricket coach, those who do not get their payment. The cricketer actually sell their things and they're trying to give them money and support and everything. Is there any culture in Malaysia or Malaysian sport?
Support, eh?
Yes, yes.
Okay, for example, recently, okay, we wanted for UITM, right? We wanted to build a postgraduates building by itself, and
Oh, very
our
nice.
UITM FC. This is our, yeah, UITM FC clubs. Okay,
Mhm.
they donated about few thousand, about 20,000 for the initial of develop this postgraduates what we call complex. So this is part of their contributions. Besides that, also, okay, like Malaysian governments also, if you purchase any equipments related to sports, okay, there's a few amounts of deductions into the tax, right? So
Oh.
this is actually looking into how we can, not only cricket, how can the Malaysian people actively involved in sport or fitness, because you see, if
Mhm.
they're actively involved, okay, we can reduce a lot of disease, major disease actually. So this is
Mhm.
what we are looking into more on souvenirs items related to sports. Yes, we need to develop more of that. Okay, because for example, I went to Manchester United recently. I went to
Mhm.
the what they call stadium itself. You just imagine. Okay, they started to build their brand name from kids. They have their diapers of Manchester United. They have the baby bottles of Manchester United. So just imagine, I'm the fan of Manchester United, example. I sure buy all these baby toys, baby things that have Manchester United's brand. So in actually, I'm putting the brand names into my kids. And when they
Mhm.
grow up, I'm sure they will become a Manchester United fan. So this is what
Mhm.
I can
Mhm.
see. If we could actually, like Malaysian, we have this Harimau Malaya brands. If we could actually looking into that brand name, and patent the brand name and franchise the brand name and create from the small, from from babies, so that they become, when they grow up, they become very loyal to the team itself. So this is what next, I think next research that I would like to look into.
Yes, yes, yes. Understand. Ma'am, one of the
Okay.
interesting things, like example, like as Malaysia is a very good land and anything. So, like, do you have, like example, any kind of industry or any of the organization, those who can build big stadiums, or you have any involvement like Olympic or this kind of event or anything? We want to know more because we do not know nothing much about sports and tourism industry.
Normally, sports facilities are being built by the governments, right?
Mhm.
Government, because it's huge amount of money, and then the governments and be managed by the private sectors. So this is what we call, when we have big events, like if you have, for example, in Tokyo, you have Olympic Games, right? I'm sure you rebrand back, or you refurnish back all the stadiums, and then make sure that what you call, the stadium is not that like while just living like that, you see. So in Malaysia, is more on a partnership between governments and private sectors to build.
Mhm.
At the moment, yes, we are trying to build small stadiums for all these urban area actually, or we are trying to actually upgrade the stadiums, right?
Mhm.
And those days we have a lots of football field, and then when we're young we can play football anytime. But now more of the football field has been a commercialized place now, so more or lack of that things, I guess. That's my
Mhm.
personal opinions. Right.
Yes, yes. Ma'am, one specific things when a country want to build up a very good sports nations, or they want to plan to build up a very young talent group of people based on sports and these things, what's the strategy they have to take? Like how they can build a very
Okay,
good sports
sports.
tourism?
Okay, a sport actually is start from the house. It start from
Mhm.
you as a parents. You the one who encourage your kids to go for any type of sports. It can be a competition sport. It can be a leisure sports, right? So you have to start from small, because people think that when you are involved in sports, you don't have future. But now it's changed. When
Mhm.
you're involved in sports, there's a lot of future. We have a sports industry coming up.
Mhm.
We can become a coach, we can become a manager, we can work in what you call sports facilities a lot. And this is the time now for us to actually not only inculcate sports, but it becomes a hobby, and it can become an income generation. For example, if you are good in, the techniques of playing crickets, all right, you
Mhm.
would like to share with the new people, new young people,
Mhm.
how to play cricket in proper, how to use the attire in proper, how to manage risk management. Okay, because people look at cricket maybe high risk, but then if you properly look into it within the risk management, it's not actually a risk. So you have to calculate from small, develop them, nurture them. It's either you can go for competition or for your own self good, for your health and wellness. That's very
Mhm.
most important. And I
Mhm.
believe in Australia, I've been there for once when my brother studied there. In every Saturday, okay, parents need to bring their kids to the field
Mhm.
to play
Mhm.
sports. So
Mhm.
that is something that is, you have sports spirit. And I believe most of us who are in sports level or sports participation, your reaction time, your decision making is very fast. When you want to do something
Mhm.
decision, your reaction time, you react very fast. That's the nature of sports people that we have been trained to. So look at the soft skill that can be inculcated in the children itself. All right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. 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 Yes, ma'am, I
Sharif,
want to
go
move.
back to
Yes,
you.
ma'am. Yes, yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear
yes,
me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Ma'am,
Yes, I can hear you.
our next question is that,
Can.
yes. Our next question is that, like, example, ma'am, now everything shut down, many countries close their borders, and many sports already closed. What will happen in the next 3 years in the sports arena? Even already Olympic and many things they are trying to stop. World cricket, they said okay, maybe it will be stopped. So what your perception, or how we can involve again, and how our sportsmen they again and
Okay,
in this
my
activity?
personal view. Okay, can you hear me? My
Mhm.
personal view is like this.
Yes.
Okay, sport is always there. It will be forever. It will be forever. Okay, we play. The stadium will be there, and then the future is more on. Okay, we minimize the fan to enter, but
Mhm.
remember we have the media exposures. Okay,
Mhm.
people can watch live now. Okay, people can
Mhm.
watch live with the families, all these things. That is the future now. Okay, and it will be much more better. It will be much more better.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
accurate more. And you have now new type of sports coming in. People are now invented new sports. Okay, and not only that, the e-game itself. Okay, and then
Mhm.
where you limited, but then the spirit, the fan is still there. So
Mhm.
I believe that the online, the technologies, okay, and I believe that in future, there's you can feel that you are still in the stadium itself, though you are in the house.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that is the most important thing. Huh?
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
so I believe that we are going to go through a technology-based fan now. All right,
Yes,
so more
yes,
on.
yes. Yeah,
Mhm.
ma'am, you are discussing about the e-sports. Can you explain like what's
Yeah.
the future of e-sports and how we can understand the e-sports? So can you share with us about the e-sports?
Okay. Now, the young generation now, they are toward esports. All right. You know
Mhm.
why? Because one is the nature of them playing the games. Second is it become a professional. It become an income to them. It become
Mhm.
what you call a huge money when they
Mhm.
win the game, etc. And beside that, not only that, the technology people can play anywhere they like, and the governments are actually encourage the young people to go for esports. So we have the generation like me, okay, the
Mhm.
50 and above, we feel that esports is not that good for the children actually, yeah. But it's we look into the positive sides. Okay, this is the trend. This is the way how they want to play. But of course, we need to actually encourage them to go for physical exercise too. Right? Not only
Mhm.
mental, but they have to go for physical exercise to balance between mental and physical itself. So they become huge. In fact, in Korea, it has become an income to the general income to the country itself. They've got
Mhm.
lots of what you call facilities on esports, etc. It's technology based. People are testing their technologies into esport actually,
Mhm.
right?
Very
So
interesting.
it become
Yes,
a
yes,
huge.
yes. Yes. Okay, ma'am. Like example, sports actually give even example in South Asia, even different country we find when sports come, even let's say India, Pakistan have some crisis. When sports come, with the
They're
sports,
united. They
yes,
become
yes, they
united.
united. They become united,
Yeah,
and
they
by
become
this way, sports actually very powerful
united.
tool. Very
Yeah,
powerful.
because
Yes. So like
yeah,
by
to unite people. True,
yes,
true.
yes, yes,
I
yes,
believe that. You know,
yes.
okay, for example, you are a fan of this one and this one. Okay, when it becomes sport, you united. You only quarrel during the match. After the match, you become friends.
Mhm.
True?
Yes,
Because of
true,
the
true,
match itself. All right.
true,
So
true,
it's
true.
true. The sporting spirit is there. That's why,
Mhm.
like for example, okay, badminton, Malaysian final with Indonesia, for example,
Mhm.
mostly badminton, right? So
Mhm.
the whole Malaysian united, and the whole
Mhm.
Indonesian, they are very united to watch the game, and they
Yes.
give the players a spirit, the winning spirit. You know, they put a hope on the players so that who going to win. So that is a satisfaction, self-satisfaction that we cannot interpret, but we can feel because it's actually hedonic services. So yes, I agree that it can unite people, the whole countries.
Yes, even example we see they are so influential even in, let's say, Bangladesh. Mashafin bin Murtuza, cricket captains, previous captain, he
Yeah.
already parliament member. In India, many cricketers, they parliament members. Even in Sri Lanka, let's say Ranatunga, he win a World Cup and now even he is a minister, full face. Imran Khan, even in from cricket, he even prime minister of
Yeah, they
Pakistan.
become because they have a good leadership.
True.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they have a good leadership. They have been
Mhm.
trained to be a very good leader, to lead the team,
Mhm.
to react fast, to
Mhm.
understand people's feelings. That is
Mhm.
the main important skill that we could see that enhance them to become a leaders.
True, true, exactly.
You know how
Exactly.
to manage your fans, and you know how to manage your what do you call people when you can manage your fans, right? So this
Mhm.
is very important skill. That's why we have sports leadership skill that create
Mhm.
them become politicians.
True,
Because they
true.
know, okay, in this situation I react like this. In this
Mhm.
situation I react like this. So this is a
Mhm.
skill that they got it from the benefit of involving in sports actually.
Mhm. Even in Bangladesh, I saw Mashrafi bin Murtuza. He's our cricket
Yeah.
captain. So his performance, like even how he managed his area, he used all of the modern technology. Like doctors go to house door to door from his area. He make a
Yes.
very scientific distributions of all of the things. His performance, even if we like we should, I do not want to compare, but if we find out his performance is very good, very brilliant. So it's very interesting that sportsmen, they can bring all nation together. They can help all nations together, not only the
True. Because
international.
we have the winning spirit.
Exactly,
Yes, because the
exactly.
winning spirit that we have, the winning spirit that made us satisfied actually.
Mhm.
True,
And
I agree with
yes,
that. Okay,
ma'am,
with the technology.
yes, ma'am. More interesting, we have many
Yes.
audience from Europe, audience from North America, even audience from Africa. How we can make a bridging with these sports and even sports related activities? What do you think? What's your perception about that?
Again, what
like
was the
like
questions again?
example, like my question is very specific. Like we have many audience from North America, we have many audience from Europe,
Mm-hmm.
even from Africa, from Malaysia. Actually, how we can make more international relationship with sports, how we can make more internationalized and make more good
Oh, we
relation.
can. All right. Okay. We can collaborate in terms of trainings. We can collaborate in terms of research. Okay, we can collaborate in terms of a discussion like this. Collaborate in terms of a conference. Okay, more on if you look into what you call educations. Okay, we can collaborate in terms of import exports. If you are sports providers. Okay, if you want to, because Malaysian do not really have what called sports industry producing like footballs,
Mhm.
producing like cricket's equipments. So all these things, it has to be commercialized if you want to really look into a sports industry. So lots of things can be collaborated, right?
Mhm. Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sure you are aware of it, right? Okay, good.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Another thing, now many sportsmen actually inside everything they are training. They are even in Facebook. We saw many sportsmen. They are inside. They all of their training they're doing in their house. What's your suggestion, advice, or guideline for the sportsman in this situation?
Okay. Well, in sports, okay, if you want to go for training, you have to discipline yourself. In the
Yes.
house, if you can discipline yourself, your timing, your techniques, etc., is good. And although you train in the house, you have to be what you communicate with your coach.
Mhm.
Okay, coach need to guide you. not only in training itself, but also in your food intakes, right? Food intake, you know, when you stay in the house, you tend to eat more. And when your mom
Yes,
cook good food, right, not
yes, yes.
according to the dietitians. So all this must be in place. And then they're very creative actually. They create their own, what do you call, equipments. So you know they create their own equipments in the house, okay, and then they started to have their family members to join them for trainings, etc., which is a blessing in the skies. Okay, blessing in the skies to look into that new method of trainings. Right. Of course, people like me who love outdoor, to stay in the house at this moment is a blessing also, you know, a
Yes,
blessing
ma'am.
because I love to go mountain climbing, etc.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. So this is very nice discussions. Like example, we find beautiful Malaysia, true Malaysia. We find that through tourism Malaysia, we can bring very interesting things, and especially sports tourism is a very interesting. And most effective thing we find that Malaysia start with golf tourism. So by this way, I
Yes.
think in this situation, they can survive. Or as well as we find many important thing about e-sports. I think this is very interesting for the young people, and we find how actually Malaysian infrastructure. Like example, Malaysian transportation
Good
system, Malaysian
facilities.
food, Malaysian
Mm-hmm.
facilities, and specifically government involvement, how we can engage with the more tourism and this kind of things, and we can get more
Mm-hmm.
support in sports arena. And we find actually sportsmen
Yep.
basically are very good leaders, and because they have winning attitudes, they have positive attitude, and we
Mm-hmm.
get many interesting guideline and approach from you. Already our audience, Mohammad Shoail Rana, he's supporting us a lot. He actually give you appreciation for your very nice discussion. Humaira Tanjila,
Thank you
on
very much.
yes, Ankit Khandawal, he also come and join with us. This is very interesting discussion. So when we are almost closing, so in the closing
Yep.
arena, we want your point of views, how actually sports can play as a global peace and this kind of thing. What's your observation about the sports science in global arena? Because you visit
Okay.
many countries.
Sports. Yeah, sports and sport tourism is actually interrelated. Okay, people go, right, people who go to sports, go to tourism. Okay, though we have this pandemic, okay, it does not stop us to go for traveling. When the time comes, when it's safe, when we have the vaccine, we have a go for traveling because that is the main, what you call, element to distress. That's something that we motivate us, something that we want to look into countries. For example, we like to go. I like really want to go to Bangladesh. I want to follow you to Bangladesh one day. I've never been there. See people, see the culture, seeing the games, enjoy everything. So, you know, this actually really regenerate back you. So not only you spending, but you learn the culture. You learn how people. In fact, if you go to India, you learn how people live, how people, the rich people, the poor people, etc. This make you open your mind out of box, think out of box. When I believe in near future, the tourism industry, the sport tourism, I think will getting better, more generate more incomes, and people are now looking into this awareness. So at this time, is the best for the providers actually to promote. This is time to promote, to educate people related to safety, health of these when you travel, etc. This is time to rebrand your products, okay, regain back the consumer trust. So I believe all this is only a temporary. It's a big market, big, huge market are waiting for us outside there. It's just for us to be more innovative, more creativities at this time point of view.
Mhm. My final thought, I want to get some guideline in COVID-19 arena, because we have many audience from around the world. So especially for South Asia, there are also now lot of travel. So even in Africa and different country, how actually Malaysia like control this COVID-19, and few comments from your side and your advice how
Okay,
they can.
first thing first, okay, we look into our distance, okay. Mostly they are more educated, distance with other people, for example. And then we are now looking into using mask when you go out, okay.
Mhm.
You wash your hands, always wash your hands, and then sanitizers, make sure the house is clean, right, and everything. This is very important to educate. And when you go for traveling also, okay, when you go into the plane, make sure that the distance between you and others, and if we have temperature check, all this, and then if you have diagnosed a little bit of virus, you better go to the hospital, get proper. And Malaysian is good in all this what you call health and medication. It's very good. There are modern, they have a modern equipments, modern, and they react very. The frontliner are working so hard to make sure that the COVID, what you call, is at the what you call flow of prorata, we call it proratas flows. So this is very important to look into the hygienes. Okay, you become you to become more aware of your hygienes and become more patient. You know why? Because when you go out there for shop, you have to make a distance, and then you have to make sure that you become patient when you want to buy something, right? So this is what I think a very good was knowledge or skill that you gain during this COVID. So as long as you make ensure that the world what you call health organization guideline, I'm
Mhm.
sure we safe
Mhm.
place to
Yes.
live.
So, okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for your brilliant sessions. And I know that you are facing some of the trouble, but you also continue your discussion. This is very, very. You are very kind heart. I know that personally. You are very kind for your
Thank you
student,
very much for
for
giving
your
these
for your.
opportunities.
Yes, yes, for your community. We want to make more session with you like this. And most importantly, dear audience, please follow how Malaysia control their COVID-19 situation.
True.
They strictly follow WHO policy. And Malaysian people is very disciplined, very nice. How can I tell you? They, when government say that, okay, everything stop, everybody stop here. And they are actually, I want to
And
say the Malaysian.
one more thing that the government give moratoriums, okay, for
Yes,
6
yes, yes.
months. Okay, the
Yes,
moratorium
yes.
for 6 months is you don't have to pay your debts, bank debts, okay, the housing
Mhm.
debt, etc. for the 6 months for to survive, because we
Mhm.
could see a lot of retrenchment now. So government is helping them. In fact, below certain income of money, government gives some income to them for them to survive these 6 months, which I believe that really helps. And after this, we Malaysians need to help the governments to inculcate more income, to generate more income. That's why we look into gig economic now. So gig
Mhm.
economy whereby people are doing their own business, and then create income, generate incomes like the Grab cars, all this that coming up now.
Mhm,
I,
mhm.
more
Yes,
on that gig
yes,
economy
yes.
businesses.
Even from our audience, they shared that we can do work from home. Even Malaysia more focus on e-commerce, right? E-commerce and this kind of things, and especially from our audience, they want to give you special thanks for your good advice. You are
Uh,
very good example from Muslim community. You know that everybody thinks, okay, Muslim has this thing, this challenge, but she is a very good example of Muslim world. She is educated, she is a dynamic, she is a professor, and she love her job. And everybody, when we are student, when we touch with her, we feel very happy. So she is a very good problem solver. So I think
my
she.
grandson wants to say hi.
Hi, hello everyone.
Hi.
Hi, hi.
Hi, this is my
So,
grandson. Hi, Will.
so this is her grandson. So this is the beauty of Malaysia. So Malaysian lady, Malaysian women, they are very beautiful. So from a subcontinent, from around the world, those who are seeing these sessions, this is the beauty of Malaysia. This is the Malaysian people beauty. I always believe the beauty you can touch, you become more rich. So this is the things we can collaborate together.
Yes.
Thank you.
Come over to Malaysia, to Malaysia. yeah, come to Malaysia, feel our culture. In terms of safety, Malaysia is very safe, right? And then in terms of hospitality, is very good. Come and stay here if you want. If you want me to come and stay near me, and I can help you to organize your plan, etc. Don't worry, right? Come over.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, for all of your advice, all of your support. We will do more things together, and we need World Talent Economy Forum need more of your support. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
audience.
everyone. Thank you,
All right. Thank you
everyone.
very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Yes, sir.